After taking the spotlight in telenovelas, musicals, and the Scream franchise, multi-hyphenate actress Melissa Barrera now steps into the eerie world in the film Abigail. A band of criminals kidnap the daughter of an underworld figure, but their ransom plans take a harrowing turn when Abigail reveals herself to be something far more ominous than they ever imagined. And our Juju Chang talked with Melissa Barrera about the film and her role as a would-be criminal overcoming a troubled past.
First of all, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate your being able to come down and sit with us. And so you're starring in Abigail, and it's a film about how even kids can be kind of the essence of monsters. What do you think the theme of this one is?
Well, it's part of the universal monster universe.
You all came highly recommended. You know the rules. No real names, no backstories, no cell phones.
So whose kid is she?
It's a movie about vampires, and in this case, the vampire happens to be a 12-year-old girl.
What's your name? Mine's Abigail.
You can call me Joey.
Do you have any kids?
I have a little boy.
I think there's a fascination in the horror genre of kids being the scary, you know, I find the evil part or the villain of the story I think is very intriguing and very scary. I find that the scariest movies for me were when there was like children that were ghosts, but like always kids. I think that there's something that people love to see about that.
It's the twisted innocence, because she goes from being daddy's little girl to a vampire villain.
The movie goes from this little girl gets kidnapped, and it turns out that she kidnapped all of them. They're all trapped in this house with her, and now they have to figure out what to do.
You play Joey,
I do.
a sort of skilled medic, and the other team members are a driver, a sniper, a medic, the muscle, the hacker, and the thin man, AKA head of ops. How fun must have been to have this team of actors playing a team of kidnap rescuers?
It feels like the island of misfit toys.
Yes.
Like it feels like all these people that are so different and such like different personalities in the movie, but also us as actors. The child that gets kidnapped, Abigail, is a ballerina. And so there's this play on Swan Lake, because the theme of Swan Lake is what opens our movie, because she's practicing.
A ballerina vampire.
And she's a vampire killer that's constantly like pirouetting and doing very graceful movements as she's hunting the crew down.
But there's also the white swan, black swan metaphor of good versus evil.
Exactly.
Interesting.
That's
And so you say you're covered in blood more than ever before, in some ways. But without giving too much away, what other thrills can the audience expect?
It's a very unexpectedly funny movie. I think you go in and you think you're going to see a horror, and you don't expect that you're going to laugh as much as you will watching this movie.
You've been quoted as saying that your character Joey represents a bit of a departure from other Latina roles. What do you mean by that?
I think it's one of the characters that I've played that it's the most unlike me, which is always great, you know, to get to play someone that is not that close to you. I think it's a challenge. But it also, like, the character was not written as Latina, which I think is beautiful, you know, that they allowed me to take on this role, and because I am Latina, then the character becomes a Latina.
I just don't scare easy, so when I do, I pay attention.
How do you navigate this sort of multicultural aspect of your identity?
That's a really good question.
In Hollywood.
Yeah, no one's ever asked me that. I guess I just know that I'm seen as a minority in the industry, so I know that I'm constantly fighting against a current, but with great pride and with the responsibility and the privilege of being one of the faces of my community. So I want to keep fighting for more seats at the table for us, so that, you know, movies and TV can be a more accurate reflection of what our world looks like.
That's amazing. You are also part of the Scream franchise for years, and I know that you were dismissed from your role in Scream 7 because you posted a social media message about the Israel-Gaza war. How do you approach the aftermath of that?
As gracefully as I have been able to. I've been very lucky that I've gotten a lot of support. I've been very clear about my stance on this conflict, and I'm sad about the way that things happen. I don't think that was necessary, but I feel very at peace.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Our thanks to Juju and Melissa Barrera. Abigail is now showing in theaters nationwide.